Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine standing on the edge of a roaring ocean during a hurricane, and then instantly being teleported into an absolutely silent, soundproofed room.
Right, that would be totally disorienting.
Exactly. And that kind of extreme whiplash is exactly what you experience when you read the source material we have for today's deep dive.
Oh, absolutely.
We're looking at the English Standard Version of Psalm 65. It's attributed as a Psalm of David and a song for the choir master, but it is far from a standard ancient hymn.
No, it covers a massive amount of ground. We are tracing a progression here that moves through, honestly, completely different scales of existence.
Yeah.
It begins with very intimate, personal spirituality, expands out to immense cosmic geography, and then finally grounds itself right in the literal dirt of an abundant harvest.
It's quite the journey.
It really is. It's a highly structured zoom out, followed immediately by a zoom in.
Well, let's start with that initial zoom in, like those first 4 verses. It sets up a scene of people approaching God in a temple, right? The text mentions a God who hears prayers and atones for prevailing iniquities, which essentially means, wiping away the community's moral debts.
Yeah, so they can actually enter the physical courtyards of the temple.
Exactly. But there's this ESV footnote for verse 1 that completely reframes the scene for me.
Oh, I know the one you mean.
Yeah, the main text reads, "Praise is due to you, O God." But the footnote offers an alternate translation, which is, "Praise waits for you in silence."
It's striking, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds more like a modern mindfulness practice than, some loud, ancient religious ritual. It's like ultimate reverence is absolute silence rather than loud declarations.
What's fascinating here is how abruptly that silence gets interrupted.
Oh, totally shattered.
Right. In verses 5 through 8, the text completely leaves that quiet, enclosed space of the temple in Zion. You are suddenly thrust out to the ends of the earth.
Just massive scale.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The author describes a God who answers with awesome deeds, establishing these towering mountains by his strength and stilling the roaring of the seas.
It's a huge shift.
We literally jump from a hushed room to the sheer, terrifying power of planetary geology and oceans.
Wait, I'm losing the thread here just a bit. We just jumped from geological features, like roaring oceans, straight into what verse 7 calls the tumult of the peoples.
Yeah, it happens fast.
Are those just 2 random examples of big, loud things? Or is there a specific reason they're paired together? Like, is the author intentionally equating uncontrollable natural chaos with human political chaos?
They are deeply connected, and it really comes down to how ancient people viewed the world.
Okay, how so?
Well, in ancient Near Eastern cosmology, the ocean wasn't just a body of water. It was the ultimate symbol of untamed primordial chaos.
Oh, wow.
It was this terrifying, destructive force.
Yeah.
So by putting political riots and ocean storms in the exact same bucket, the author is saying that human rebellion is essentially a force of nature.
So a geopolitical uprising and a tsunami are treated as the exact same kind of threat.
Precisely. They have massive, chaotic forces that seem entirely beyond human control.
Right, way bigger than us.
But for the God described in this text, calming the tumultuous seas and settling geopolitical upheaval, well, they require the exact same flex of power. It's a statement of absolute sovereignty over all forms of disorder.
Man, that changes how I read the next section. Because if you have a force capable of neutralizing total political and natural chaos, what is the byproduct of that peace?
You get stability.
Exactly. In the ancient world, peace didn't just mean a lack of war. It meant the safety to actually grow food and survive.
Yeah, you could actually plan for tomorrow.
Right. And I think that explains why the text pivots directly into agricultural growth in verses 9 through 13.
That is the underlying logic of the whole structure. Once the cosmic and human storms are cleared, the conditions are perfect for the earth to thrive.
Here's where it gets really interesting to me. The intense personification of nature here. The earth isn't just getting rained on, it's being visited and softened with showers.
The language is incredibly lush.
It is. Then you get these heavy clothing metaphors. The hills gird themselves with joy, the meadows clothe themselves with flocks, and the valleys deck themselves with grain.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this is a vivid depiction of overflowing excessive provision.
It's not just scraping by.
Not at all.
Yeah.
This isn't subsistence farming. It's a harvest so massive that's almost bursting. The text says God crowns the year with bounty, and specifically notes that the wagon tracks overflow with abundance.
It's like a dump truck that's been filled so high with dirt that it's leaving a trail down the highway as it hits bumps. But here it's a trail of life-sustaining food spilling out of the carts.
That's the exact image. The carts carrying the harvest are so overloaded that grain is literally spilling into the dirt tracks as they roll along.
That's amazing.
The sheer volume of the harvest cannot be contained by the technology used to transport it.
Just think about the sheer scale of the journey we just took through these 13 verses for today's deep dive. We started in a hushed, silent room in the courts of Zion.
Then rocketed outward.
Right, outward to the chaotic, roaring seas and political tumult, and finally landed right back in the dirt, surrounded by overflowing wagons and valleys just thick with grain.
Which brings us to a perfect final thought for you to carry with you.
Lay it on us.
The very last line of this text says that the meadows and valleys themselves shout and sing together for joy.
Wow.
So if this ancient text views the very dirt, hills, and pastures as active, joyful participants in existence, how might that challenge the way you view the silent natural landscape outside your own window today?